Episode 17.8 Georg Von Trapp, the man who turned silence into command. War is not born in fire, it is born in order. Long before the battlefield fills with noise, someone has already imposed silence. Not the silence of fear, the silence of control. In that silence, armies are shaped, mistakes are eliminated, and fate quietly takes form. This is not a story about chaos. It is a story about a man who understood that the most terrifying sound in war is an army that does not need to speak. Because when discipline speaks, the enemy listens, and it is already too late. This is the story of Georg Von Trapp. Scene 1. Order before the storm. The situation is tense, but not yet explosive. Troops wait. They do not fidget. They do not speak unnecessarily. Every movement is measured. This is no coincidence. This is design. Von Trapp believed that before a battle begins, an army reveals its future in the way it waits. While others raise their voices to prove authority, he lowers his, because discipline, once internalized, does not need to be announced. Scene 2. Discipline as a weapon. To Georg Von Trapp, discipline is not punishment, it is protection. Protection from confusion, from panic, from the small mistakes that turn into mass death. Under his command, soldiers know where they belong, what they must do, and, just as importantly, what they must never do. An army that doubts itself does not need to be defeated. It collapses on its own. Von Trapp never allowed that doubt to exist.
Scene 3. Silence that commands respect. There are moments when silence spreads fear, but under Von Trapp, silence spreads certainty. No wasted signals, no emotional movement, no unnecessary reaction. The enemy watches and sees nothing. And that is when uncertainty grows. Because an army that moves only when it must cannot be read, cannot be predicted, and cannot be rushed into error. Scene 4. Decision without drama. Von Trapp does not rush, but he never freezes. When the moment arrives, his decision is immediate. Not because the picture is complete, it never is, but because his forces were trained to function inside uncertainty. He understood a brutal truth of war. Hesitation is louder than a mistake. So when others hesitate, his army moves, cleanly, efficiently, without noise. Scene 5. Changing outcomes without spectacle. There is no dramatic charge, no desperate retreat recorded in bold letters. Only precise movement, in the right direction, at the exact moment. A situation that could have collapsed quietly stabilizes. A battle that could have turned catastrophic simply doesn't. History remembers explosions, but survival is often the result of battles that never become stories. Scene 6. Leadership that outlives the war. Victories fade, borders shift, commanders are replaced, but discipline remains. Men who served under Von Trapp carried his standards forward in how they trained others, how they waited, how they decided. He did not only win engagements, he created leaders, and that is the rarest victory of all. Scene 7. The commander history mentions quietly. Georg Von Trapp was never a symbol of spectacle. No legendary last stand, no poster-worthy moment. And yet, his units held when others broke, moved when others panicked, survived when others vanished from records. History remembers noise. Armies survive on control. Von Trapp understood this until his final breath. What comes next? Episode 17.9. Archduke Eugen, the strategist who thought in empires. The next story is about a commander who did not think in battles, but in entire theaters of war. a man who understood that empires do not fall from one defeat, but from poor coordination, delayed judgment, and leaders who see only their own front. Master Duke Eugen, the strategist who moved armies as parts of a single mind. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because the most decisive wars
are won far above the battlefield and long before the first shot is fired.